Flex, the livest one in the section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. You already know what time it is, man. Hold on, let me close this out. It's making noise. Let's do this roll call real quick, waiting for a guest to show up. If he's having difficulties, we'll just continue on with the conversation. And we'll see him when we see him. Mark Wonderlick, Jimmy Bernard, Woke, Steve Elder, Mac, Tay, good evening, Rod Neal, Tay B, G McCall, Sam Mack, The Audacity Podcast in the building, Taiwa, Mel Lane, Shaquilla Fields, salute, Queen, Gerald Freeman, Clarence McClain, No Duck Zone Podcast in the mother effing building, salute. If I miss you in the chat, know that I love you. Big things popping. Now, I mean, Stormy, how you doing, good bro?
Salute, bro. I'm doing very well. Blessed to be here and ready for another roundup of the Strong House. Yeah.
Let's get it. Mind of Monster Musa, salute, Brody. Yeah, so let's talk some boxing because that's refreshing. ES, salute, sis. It's refreshing to talk some boxing, man. I had to catch the replay of the Sonny Edwards fight. Mm-hmm. Man, oh man, that was good. That was good. Antonio MMA, salute. Let me tell you what I saw. Now I did pick Sonny Edwards to win. And of course he didn't. From what I've seen, so I had to go back and watch it when I came home. Sonny wasn't fighting the guy that he thought he was gonna be fighting. He fought a different guy. Similar to Boots. He thought it was gonna be round 13 of a fight that he won easy. And he said, oh man, Karen ain't having it. This is not the guy I fought. Sonny, after round one, he was in oh shit mode. Like, what the hell is this? He wasn't out of shape. He trained. He was literally, if meeting the better man that night was a fight, that's what it was. And I believe after round 3, he said he didn't even want to be in there anymore, but he was just in there working. And salute to him. I'm not going to drag him or anything like that. He did the best he could with the tools that he had. I didn't hear anything about him having an injury. I didn't hear anything about him having a bad camp. He was just in there with a guy who wanted it just as bad, but the drive was a little more on his opponent's side. And nothing he did was working. And it was simply just one of those nights. Those men had history. And his opponent simply smashed the gas on him. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing. Stay ready, salute. there was nothing that he could do. There was nothing he could do. And that's what I saw. I mean, he didn't quit. It's like, let's go ahead. That's not working. Let me do this. That's not working. Everything he did didn't work. And all he had left was his will. And between that dwindling and his corner knowing their fighter, they said, you know, F it, man. Just, we're not going to go to the final round with this. We can't do this. Let's just stop. Because your corner you're supposed to know your fighter. And that's what I saw. A shot with salute, Queen. TD Sports in the building. 88 Sports Talk, salute. And I want you to reiterate your thoughts, because I listened to your post fight. But your thoughts on that. I want you to reiterate that, please.
Yeah. First of all, I want to salute Galal Yafai, who came out with a very determined effort. You could see that though they had their face off and had conducted interviews and had their pre-fight build-up pressings and whatnot, he never displayed the energy that he fought with during that, which was a nice disguise. Meaning that when that bell rang and he pounced on top of Sonny Edwards, it's kind of like, you remember in the movie Gladiator when they first put them in the arena and they opened those traps and the lions came out of the traps.
Yeah.
And it startled everybody because
it's like, oh, what's that?
The ground. Yeah. That's how Yafai came out on Sonny. And he wasn't prepared for that Galal.
Right.
He probably thought they were going to come out and fill each other out, and Galal was going to hit him with hard punches, and he would have to, get into his flow. But it didn't work that way. Now, to revisit what I had said, starting from behind like that, there's a couple of ways to slow that down. I want to take you back to a fight that took place years ago between Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. When Tyson came out in that first round, he was very rambunctious. He came out throwing his haymakers like he does and everything.
Yep.
Lennox did catch him with an uppercut that seemed to hurt Mike. Mike kind of, he bluffed his way through that and made it to the end of the round. Two interesting stories began to take place between the rounds. In Tyson's corner, he was telling Ronnie Shields, he hurt me, Ronnie, which was amazing because we never heard Mike say something like that in his corner before. And Ronnie was not with him, but for that training camp, for that fight. So I don't know how well Ronnie knew Mike in the gyms, but we know Mike had an assortment of trainers after he left Kevin Rooney. So that was very interesting. But in Lennox's corner, Emmanuel Stewart was telling him, just stay with him because all of that energy, he's going to burn it off right away. Just tie him up real hard, walk him back, put your weight on him, push him off, push him backwards, stick your jab in his face, a stiff, hard jab, because he said he's not going to be able to fight the entire fight with that type of energy.
Right.
So Emmanuel was acknowledging Tyson's strength, his ambition to try to get something done early and quick, but as a seasoned veteran coach, he coached Lennox through this situation because it was a storm that he was going to have to weather in order to be successful. And he did do that. When I spoke last night, I hearkened it to Emmanuel when I said that I would have had Sonny counter every time that Yafai landed something, because Sonny had good defense too. He wasn't getting hit with everything. Some of it was hitting him on the arms, the gloves, and the wrist near the elbow. I was saying that what he was going to need to do was fire back every time he felt some contact from Galal, whether it was a left hook, right hand, whatever. When he feels a contact, fire back very hard to the body. Because remember, when fighters punch, they exhale, they breathe, right?
Yeah,
so if you're hitting him in the body, sometimes you could catch him in between shots to the body. You deplete his energy faster. And even though he's not the puncher that Galal is, tactically and strategic wise, you could still get some good work in that will make him slow down.
Right.
And even if he doesn't slow down his pace, he's going to stop throwing all those hard shots.
Right.
Because he's got to have energy to throw the hard shots. But you see why, and I alluded to this last night on the post-fight, and I said there's a reason it's called the sweet science. You have to know how to counter what's being divvied out to you. And the body doesn't know the difference between a hard puncher or a soft puncher.
That's right.
Because your organs rest within the cavity of your torso and your abdomen.
Right.
So if you get hit correctly, a body shot to the liver, you're gonna go down, or at least it's gonna affect you to the point that you're gonna need to get that extra moment of rest, wind, or whatever to get yourself back. You get hit in the floating rib, same thing. And a guy, let's say, like, use Paulie Malignaggi as an example. He was never a noted puncher, but Paulie could still break somebody's ribs with the right type of shot because he
hurt Juan Diaz to the body. He hurt Juan Diaz to the body in that fight.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this is something that can be done, but your coach and trainer, they need to know these things.
Yeah.
What I found out in the aftermath of all of this was Sonny made a coaching change before the fight. Now, I don't know the story behind the coaching change. I don't know if the coach that he used to have was close to both he and Yafai. I don't know. And I don't even care at this point because the fight is now over and done. But if the new coach doesn't have that experience with Sonny, it would be difficult to keep him engaged in the match because it's obvious that Sonny felt depleted or he felt inadequate. Either way, but see, a quality coach could get you back on track.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the guy that he was with was not quality, but it's obvious that he wasn't able to rein Sonny's attention in enough to get him to bring the championship caliber fighter out of himself. Right. So my assessment of everything overall was what Yafai did, his game plan to start, it worked for him. But he can't center his career around thinking doing something like that is just going to be an effective manner, because that's really not his fighting game. But a seasoned, veteran, experienced fighter can expose loopholes in what he was doing and set traps for him. So, you know, it was a very interesting thing. But what Sonny did manage to display still was a championship caliber spirit in fighting. He didn't give up, but he was being overwhelmed. And like I said, proper instructions in the corner can make a difference, man. Your coach has to be able to speak a language that connects to you, and it can also help ignite what needs to be reminded of your purpose and everything. And I'm not so sure that this guy that was working in his corner last night was capable of doing that under these circumstances.
Yeah, you're really adamant about corner work, and a lot of fighters that we've seen in the last few years, we've seen a few fights where we're like, what the hell is he doing in the corner? What is that? What are they saying in the corner? Because I mute the commentary and I unmute when I listen to the corner work, and surprise, surprise, a lot of these coaches, I'm just wondering, why would he tell them to do that? We spoke about that with in Boots last fight. Salute my brother 503 Line in the building, man. I was listening to the brothers cook. The usual suspects are over there. And they were actually having a strong conversation that I want to pick up on over here. If I miss y'all in the chat, know that I love you. I see you, Charlene D, Anthony, Andrew Diaz, salute.
And I like to give another example of what I'm talking about these trainers and coaches in the corner.
Go ahead.
Back in the IBF unification and WBC unification between Tony Tucker and Mike Tyson, Tucker was holding Tyson a little bit too much on the inside. He was grabbing him, tying him up and everything. And Kevin Rooney was giving Mike instructions. He was like, listen, twist around, which is that move that he does when he steps around to the side. He said, twist around and, come up with the hook to the body, hook to the head in the right hand. And he was telling Mike to throw these, they had the number chart combinations that he would call out, 4, 5, 6, and he'd tell Mike to do those combos. And Mike was like, he's holding me. And Kevin Rooney told him, he said, bullshit, don't give me that. You're letting him hold you.
Yeah.
And that was Kevin Rooney communicating to Mike Tyson. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the difference, because he spoke a language that Mike understood. That was like echoing cuss, talking to him like that and everything. And he knew that Mike was trying to dog it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if the guy's holding you, you can rest too.
Yes.
And Mike threw everything hard. So he enjoyed the resting. But Kevin was on him about it. And then, after a few rounds of Tucker being successful in doing that, when Mike finally broke free from that and started just letting his hands go, he began to outpoint Tucker. Though he didn't knock him out, he won a unanimous decision, defeating Tucker because he fought his way through it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's what you can credit a lot of that to Kevin Rooney pushing him and not letting him dog it, but being on top of him, knowing that if I let Mike do what he wants to do, Mike is going to turn this into a sloppy, ugly fight. You know what I mean? So he understood that. And again, when you're talking about quality corner work, this is what they do to get the most maximum effort out of the fighters, because the fighter has enough to deal with just the fact that punches are flying around his head. You know what I mean? And to be safekeeping, and he's got to be mindful of his stamina and things like that. So that little 1 minute between rounds is a chance to refresh the guy, encourage him for what he's doing well, and what to be make him mindful of going into the next stanza. So it's like, that's very important, and you only have a few seconds to get that done. But the experienced guys know how to get that done. It makes all the difference in the world, So
education, y'all, is very key. So that's why, when the sensei does the Tuesday tussle and the post fights, he can explain to you what happened or what was supposed to happen. Like when we put these fighters on a high pedestal, and then in their next performance, we're like, well, why didn't he or she look like that? We could break it down, or we can listen to people that know what they're talking about. And speaking of which, Okay, y'all. Black Martial Arts Society, Jab Jamboree. Salute. All right, Stormy. I guess we're gonna talk about Jerron Ennis. You have a nickname for him.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because dig this here, man. Snoop, what up? You know, I am no longer in the business of putting these guys on pedestals. You can tell me about them, and I can acknowledge what they're doing so far. But when I say something like, I can't gauge this guy because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Forget what I would like for him to do. I want to see someone jump off a roof and fly like Superman. It's not going to happen. But when you do what you're supposed to do, that's something else. Now, we held Boots to a high standard, but when you hold someone to a high standard, they're supposed to produce. The competition is there, and at this point, there is no reason for him to be doing what he's doing. And I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't point out and say, look what he's doing. Look what he's not doing. What he's not doing. Now, Stormy, you go ahead. You go ahead. Here we are again, y'all. Here we are again. Now, you see what I do with Tank, right? It's all justified. I'm not finna go through this with Boots. We're gonna call it out now before it gets worse. Go ahead, Stormy.
Yeah, I've already deemed them penny loafers because you know he nickel and diming the public out of what he's doing out there, and it's okay because he earned that nickname. And it's a justifiable thing because I've applied it to, you know, what it means to you be deceiving the people. You know, when somebody tries to tell you, hey man, I got this Blu-ray player, man, just give me $20 for it. And the box is all sealed up, it looked brand new or whatever. And you decide, oh, I'm gonna take that chance. You pay the dude $20. You get home, you open the box, it's a bunch of bricks in the box. You know what I'm saying? You got penny hustled, huh? So what we're seeing is more of the same from a guy who's coming behind a whole era of his present contemporaries doing the same foolishness. And it's time for us to stop anointing and awarding these guys. Now, remember, I was one of the first ones to use and associate Roy Jones' name with his name, speaking about talent and the potential of talent, right? But I never said he was the new Roy Jones or he's going to be like Roy Jones. I said, when I first made the comment, I said, he reminds me he has Roy Jones-like talent, meaning he's very athletic. He has great fast twitch muscles, especially good hand speed, pop on his punches, and he has the ability to be a little bit elusive. He can evade punches and stuff, but he can switch also. And I remember people started saying stuff like, oh, he's like the new Roy Jones and stuff. And I never said that. I never said that. I was asked earlier today on my show by the brother B Max. Salute to B Mac. He said, do you think he's a good boxer? And I said that I don't believe he's been put in a position where that's been on display. Now, whether he can do it or not, that's what that means, because he had a chance to do it against Karen in his rematch. But he never made the adjustment to what Karen was doing to box his way to victory. He kept trying to look for big shots. He kept trying to look to hunt the guy down. A lot.
And what was his corner saying? What is his corner kept saying? That I didn't understand.
Out and let's go home.
Bro. Corner work.
But knockouts are set up.
Yep.
Rare is the occasion that somebody goes out, you boxing, and you just throw a punch, boom, and the guy gets hit and he goes out. Rare is that. You have to set knockouts up. And usually guys get clipped with a shot that they don't see coming or whatever, and that's what puts them in jeopardy. He never did that where he set it up. He was throwing, and sometimes he made contact, sometimes he landed good shots, but Karen showed that he could take it.
Yep.
So where was the effort, concentrated effort to work the body, to bring his hands down, to start coming over the top with certain type of short shots and things of that nature? You didn't see the ring IQ, and you didn't see the technical proficiency that will allow you to gradate him as being a good boxer. Now, he's an athletic boxer. He's very athletic. But how solid is that jab? You know what I'm saying? How solid are the combinations that can come and flow off of a jab? How great is his counterpunching when setting up a guy where you give him a certain look and the guy throws a shot and you can evade the shot, block the shot, parry the shots, bob and weave, slip, and counter? We didn't see any of that.
Now, when we spoke earlier, he said he wants to face Bud at 154. He doesn't want any parts of Ortiz at 154. But I don't know if he has any. I don't know if he's having problems making 147. He's not even bothering to unify that division, to my knowledge. I asked you earlier, without the stupid antics outside the ring, what's the difference between him and Teofimo Lopez trying to get a Bud payday and cash out? Why would you do that?
There is no difference. It's the same thing. This is why I said that we're watching he coming behind his contemporaries, because all of the names that you can name come before him anyway. Remember, he was boxing in obscurity, building up to that 33-0 record that he now has. You know, a good, 25 of those fights were against people that we don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we're gonna call it how we see it. I see you, 503. It's a duck, bro. It's a duck. And Boots could, man, and this is why I'll support a fighter when they're doing what they're supposed to do. But once you start fighting people that fight back, and all of a sudden you got a contemporary to your left, a contemporary to your right, you're supposed to get in there and at least compete. I think Cameron in the first fight bought the hype and he fought timid. And then in round 13 of their fight, he says, no. I'm going to touch this guy. And he started touching Boots. Boots showed a good chin, but Karen can't crack like that. But he was getting touched to the point where you couldn't help but to think, if that was somebody else who hit a little harder.
And there was something else that I had to explain to the brother B-Mac in our conversation earlier today. Don't forget that this fight took place in Boots' hometown of Philly.
Yeah.
If that was on a neutral site, Karen would have got more credit on the judges' scorecards than he did fighting in the guy's hometown like he did. Karen was landing shots, man. I'm not saying that Karen would have beat him. I'm not saying that. But the fight, even as it played out, if it's in a different region, the pressure of everything is a lot tighter because he was in a situation where he didn't do what needed to be done, meaning make adjustments and everything. And even though he dropped Karen was able to weather the storm and come back and continue to fight. That rings to the hearts of anybody watching boxing, that a guy gets dropped and he gets up and keeps on fighting and everything. Why you think Rocky is so popular? You know what I'm saying? It's the ability to come back from the edge of destruction and still be giving your pound of flesh or trying to compete. And he did not sound like a solid winner after the fight, did he? When he was being interviewed by Chris, what's his name? Chris, the guy we don't care for too much. The DAZN announcer guy. Chris Mannix. When he was being interviewed by him, he didn't sound like he really.
He sounded embarrassed, man.
Yeah.
He sounded embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because he was expecting a dominant performance. And he sounded embarrassed, man. And I felt for him like, bro, calm down. The guy showed you a different style. All right. Your corner work, to me, the corner work wasn't up to par. Calm down, watch some film, and you got to be a Marine in that ring. You got to be able to think outside the box, and he didn't do that because he's listening to his damn corner, and his corner, in my opinion, Boozy wasn't giving good advice. So now moving forward, the Ortiz situation, he's not looking too good in that. No, not looking too good. Let's be honest, he's looking bad.
If he gets hit with the shots by Ortiz that Karen was hitting him with, he gets knocked out.
It's going to be a problem.
No, he gets knocked out.
He said
if he gets hit with the shots by Ortiz that Karen was hitting him with, he gets knocked out because Karen found a pattern. He would step back, step feint, come in, and boom, throw that left hook. He was landing it. You and I were on the phone talking about it.
Yeah, he landed it like
again.
8 or 9 times.
Again. He just hit him again.
He landed like 8 or 9 times in like 3 rounds. I said, God damn. We said, if this dude has some pop, and you know what we said? If that was Brian Norman Jr., he's on the floor. He's on the floor. It's over. And that's why you got to rethink it. Like, why are they smashing the gas on Boots? Because they know. Now you're thinking like, hold on now. They know something we don't know. Or do we now know? And now this Virgil Ortiz stuff, and now he says, I want to go to 154 for Bud. It sounds like you're trying to get a check before shit get real bad for you. And let me tell you something else. Eddie Hearn said that Bud knew about this contract shit. He tried to say that Boots didn't know. Eddie Hearn said no, he knew. So there's a lot of like fugazi shit going on now. Now let me tell y'all who's in these rankings. Now
hold on before you go to the rankings. Let me say this about the Brian Norman thing.
Yeah,
there were so many people out here, and salute to our brother Blue Blood because he's a hard grinder and he gets information from specific sources that really we wouldn't have access to the information if he wasn't graced with that. So I respect a lot of what he does with the work that he brings to the social media. And when they were negotiating with the Norman Jr. camp for a unification bout between both men who had yet to defend their titles yet. Boots hadn't defended the IBF and Norman hadn't defended that, what he has, the WBO. So you're looking at two men that will come together for unification. Yeah, Boots is a few years older, but at the same time, Brian Norman is in a position that he's just on the cusp of breaking out himself. And his win in a championship title bout, he won in spectacular fashion. So he's got some fire behind him right now. However, the money that was offered and the terms, it being a unification bout, they were willing to face Boots for this under one condition. and the condition be that it not be in Philly. We're not going to take less money than we can actually really make. We're not going to give him the A-side property and all of that and then fight in his hometown too, because that'll be just like ransoming our title away, similar to like what Prince Charles Martin did when he went over to the UK to fight AJ. So so when Boots' camp was like, no, we're going to fight in Philly or no fight, the Norman Jr. camp said, okay, cool, sayonara. We're going to go on and do our thing. Now, people were saying that Brian Norman ducked. Oh, if you want to be undisputed or you want to be unified champ, then you should just agree. No, you don't agree where you give everything, including the shirt off of your back. You're a champion too.
Yep.
And like I just stated, did not indicate, neither man had defended their title yet.
That's right.
So in their first title defense, it was going to be for unification. There is some type of parity there. There is some type of being on the same plane. And you have to respect that.
Yep.
If you don't respect that, then you deserve to be taken for everything you got. You see? But the Norman Jr. camp, they said no, and they went on about their business. Now look at Boots. Even with a situation where all the terms was dictated in his favor and everything, he still came out smelling like dead roses. Huh?
Roses really smell like boo.
Yeah. So when we're talking about evaluating, this is what that is. And now check this out. They had already started the negotiation with Ortiz camp for a fight on the Riyadh season card, February 22nd, I believe the date is. They were already getting geared up for that, right?
Yep.
And now the backlash and the people, the public sentiment and everything, maybe Boots ain't what we thought and blah, 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 everything, all of a sudden now it's like, oh, I want to stay and I want to unify at 147.
Yeah.
But you had begun the negotiations with the Ortiz Jr. camp, and Robert Garcia, salute to him. He was on, it was either IFL TV or Fight Hype. He was on there and he gave an interview and he says he don't know why they decided to not go through with it, but we had begun the negotiations and everything. He was like, but now he's acting like he want to stay at 147, but Eddie Hearn seems to want to go to 154 or whatever. But when you look at all of this, what it really comes down to is he sounds like a guy who just wants to have it all his way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that's a fraud, people. That's a fraud.
He's not the rock star.
Let me give you an example. Two men who fought for undisputed at 147 2 years ago. Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford. The two of them won their world titles on the road in another country.
There you go. There you go.
Now, Steve, I'm not talking down on Boots. I'm telling the truth about Boots. Philly ain't where it's at. In order to be a true champion in the world, you have to go out there and take it to the max inside of the world. That's why Shakur ain't gonna be nothing. That's why Tank Davis ain't gonna be nothing. That's why Teofimo ain't gonna be nothing. Look at these guys. Hometown heroics. That's a sham. How many guys have you seen that are like a big fish in a small pond, and when they go somewhere else, they get eaten up? That's a damn staple in boxing that has happened traditionally throughout the history of the sport.
You want an example of that, y'all? You want an example? I'll give you a name. Ain't that long ago. To some of y'all it is. Ricky Hatton. As soon as you took Alan Quartermain off of Africa, he could die. Do y'all peep what I just said? Soon as Ricky Hatton came to America, who did he fight? In a 10-round fight, you remember? He fought, what's his name, Stormy? He hurt Keith Thurman with a body shot, almost dropped him. Puerto Rican brother.
Is that Beltran?
No. Ballhead had a lot of tattoos. Oh man, what's his name?
Help us out, chat.
I know y'all know. Oh man.
Collazo, there you go.
Louis Collazo. Thank you. Louis Collazo. He came over here, and I thought Collazo won that fight. Collazo turned it up the second half of that fight, and I'm like, oh.
Yep.
He's lucky. Yo, Hatton was lucky. I said if Collazo needed 2 more rounds, he beats him. And then they put him in there with Juan Urango. I think that was here. He was made to order. And then they put him in there with Jose Luis Castillo to set up the Floyd Mayweather fight. He stopped Castillo with a body shot. They said, well, this guy gave Floyd all kinds of problems, and we thought he beat him. We thought he got one up off on Floyd. So Hatton's ready. And Hatton came over here and got knocked out. And he turned into, he almost when his return bout was back in the UK against Juan Lascano. And Juan Lascano almost knocked him out with the same check left hook. And he struggled in that fight. So it was pretty much over for Ricky Hatton. The magic was gone.
Yep.
So as soon as some of these guys leave their soil, it's over. It's over with. And you're starting to see certain things. Whether they're fighting in their city or they get comfortable in another city where they can sell some tickets. It's the same crap. You took Jeff Lacey and sent him to the UK with Joe Calzaghe. Look what happened. You see what I mean? So this is like not new. So you gotta wonder. Go ahead.
You know, when Penny Loafers, before he signed with Ed Hearn, I had said, did not suggest, Drew, you remember me saying that he should take his show on the road and build up, going to fight in some other countries, get on some undercards. He could be on Matchroom undercards over in another country where he's not headlining, but he's getting that experience, because the experience is very important. You don't just go to a new nation not understanding what that is, because you weren't in the Olympics, you're not well traveled. You need to be able to do this. And somebody said to me, I think months ago when I was on that conversation, they were like, well, he don't really like to travel. Tough tamales, baby. Because when Hearn is ready, Hearn is going to pull his card and make him fight somewhere that he don't want to fight outside the U.S. so he could get that damn IBF title off of him he doesn't give it up and vacate it.
Exactly. And I hope he understands. He probably don't, but listen, man. Hearn sees more value in this cheetah, the egg swallower. He sees more value in the egg swallower,
Conor Ben,
than Boots. Because he still can't fight in his own country, but I'll be damned, he's getting them fights in America, in Florida, all kinds of crazy shit.
And the knockout streaks have mysteriously stopped.
Magically. He'll fuck around and put him in the ring with Boots. Sacrificial lamb. Boots got to do something. Now, let me get to these rankings. Let me tell you what's going on at 154. Okay. He ducked Virgil Ortiz, who's the interim WBC, but who's like the official WBC champ? Sebastian Fundora. Do you trust Boots against Sebastian Fundora? I don't. Not right now. All right, WBA, Bud. But who's the champion in recess? Jamel Charlo. Bakram, IBF champion. Let me stop right there for a minute, bro. Because the WBO is Fundora and Crawford. Bakram, right now, Stormy. You trust Boots against Bakram right now?
That's the guy that annihilated Tim Tszyu, right?
Yes, that's him.
Listen, when I told you about that guy, because I was doing my breakdown video, because I hadn't seen Bakram a lot, but I, when I'm doing my breakdowns, I go back and I watch film and everything. I said this fight is a step up fight for him, but I realized that there's a reason that you're not hearing about this guy, and that's because he's freaking dangerous. And I don't believe Tim Tszú's people did their homework. And he got expelled. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is this: Bakram is the type of guy. You know how Boots get hit with a shot and he give you that smile?
Yeah, that's not good. I don't like that.
No, I don't like it either. But a guy like Bakram will take his heart and administer the type of beating that you all just don't want to see penny loafers take. I'm telling you, you don't want to see that, because you're going to be wondering like, well, man, why couldn't he just, because it ain't in him.
Nope.
He's a front runner. How many of them are there? Plenty. You're seeing them all across the board. Why you guys think I speak so highly of Oshaki Foster? That young man has come from the mud and got it done. They even tried to send him places to lose, and he pulled victories out. That's why when they pulled that crap with Roberson Conseco before this rematch fight of theirs, I was so livid about that, because they were doing whatever they could to just try to lift that belt off of that man. And he had worked hard to not only win the title, but retain it. And let us not forget, Shakur ran away from him too.
Say that one more time.
Shakur ran away from Oshaki too.
He did hop divisions, y'all. That really happened. But let's not harp on that. And salute my brother Thomas. He says, you saw Xander Zayas accept the fight with Ortiz. Hey man, I'm for that.
Yeah.
I'm for that. I think right now at this point, let me tell you about Xander Zayas. I like the kid. New York is big on him. Half of Puerto Rico's out here. They're really big on him. Every time he fights, it's at the Hulu. I think they have him on like the undercards the day before the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Puerto Rican fans always support their fighters. He has the look. He has really good skill set. This is a step up fight for him. Does he win it? That's a conversation to have. How do you think he does versus Virgil Ortiz, since Boots don't want to do it?
Well, salute to Sergey Bohuchuk, who should have got the victory over Ortiz. For some reason, Golden Boy just wanted to keep him undefeated. But he lost that fight to Sergey. He got dropped twice in that fight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. Sometimes a young talent like, what's his name you just said?
Xander Zayas.
Xander, sometimes a young talent like that can break out. Sometimes, because it's not only the fact that they're talented enough to do it, sometimes they be wanting it. It's almost like, you ever seen a beautiful horse in a barn, and they take him out the barn to let him go stretch his legs, and he runs out in the field and he looks so graceful and everything. It's like, look at that. That's a thing of beauty. Sometimes young talents in boxing can happen like that, and they're not forced. They snatch it. They snatch the opportunity. And Virgil has been vulnerable. He has been vulnerable in his last fight. He has been vulnerable when he was at 147. And let us not forget the tough fight that he had against Green Beans. Green Beans had him wobbling around and teetering and everything. But we know that Green Beans is a front runner himself. He can hurt people. He can get out front, and then he either loses focus, loses confidence, or just ends up losing, period. That's been his MO. He'll start strong, but he won't finish. He'll start strong, but he won't finish strong.
Yeah.
Xander is the type of guy that has yet to really be tested. And if Virgil try to go in there and be tough with him, we may find out that Xander is a whole hell of a lot better than advertised. And that's a great opportunity for Xander. I love it. See, these pretenders, man, these guys who have been getting assistance and being pushed along and sheltered and shielded and all of that. Later for that, I told you guys who would listen, the paradigm is shifting. We're shifting away from these guys, the tanks and the TOs and the damn shitty cousins and all of that. We're shifting away from that. You're getting ready to start seeing the real stuff again. That's why I throw Raymond Ford into that group as well. Mm-hmm. He basically ransomed his title to Nick Ball. Why? Why did you do that, son? You're going to find it very difficult. You think you're just going to jump right back into title contention? No, these other guys who got titles, they're going to beat the crap out of you because you've already shown your yellow streak. You've shown it already.
Now, where does that fight take place? Hulu Theater, New York?
Where?
Or maybe Ortiz and Zayas. Or maybe
it's on the undercard. It's Riyadh season, brother.
That was a trick question. Now, if this Riyadh season, is it going to be overseas? Or are they going to have it in New York? Or not New York, but like somewhere in the States. My brother, Eric Montgomery. Good to see you, good brother. Salute. That's my brother right there. Riyadh season overseas, or does he throw an event here in the States?
Well, that's I think that's overseas because we're looking at that's the undercard of Benavidez and Morrell, right?
Oh yeah, more on that. That's going to be on the under. Oh, it's going to be
no. That Morrell and that's no February 22nd. Who's headlining February 22nd?
I think that's wait, that's not Morrell and
No, they're February 1st.
Right. So something's going on because I know the Zone and Riyadh, they got shit on lock on February. Don't PBC ain't doing a mother effing thing. We're gonna talk about the PBC in a second, but they got it on lock. But
Bivol and Bitter Beef. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Jarrell Freeman wrote it in the chat. Bivol and Bitter Beef. Yes. That's their rematch. Yeah, thank you for that. Because we're going over so many fights. It's like sometimes we get the dates kind of mixed up. But
so I would like to see
February 22nd.
I would like to see Zayas and Ortiz on neutral ground, Riyadh season. I would like to see that. And I see
and that's in Saudi, bro. It's in Saudi.
In Saudi? That's cool. I see 503. He said Ortiz hasn't had a home fight. But neutral ground, I like that, man. And if it's official, I would love to have a panel and discuss who wins that. I think Zayas is ready. This is a coming out party for him. Ortiz has sold a lot of dents in the armor, but will the experience and the fact that he feels he hasn't had a blockbuster signature win, I don't know. He might want to, the Mexico versus Puerto Rico thing is always there. So that I have a lot of interest in that fight. Measure just says, does McCauley have a fight? He's in camp for someone. I got to get more info on that, but I think he does. And speaking of David Morrell versus David Benavidez, y'all. Gerard Harlem in the building. I got a problem, y'all. I got a problem, and maybe y'all can help me. I need to know, is this shit Photoshop, man? Is that for real?
No, that's not Photoshop.
Oh, Lord. Lord, help me. Oh, boy. I'll let you go first, Stormy, because I'm concerned about this. This is concerning.
I want
what's going on?
I want to acknowledge this is a product of PBC.
Thank you.
This is a product of PBC.
Damn.
Because this young man, you know, the last time he fought Vasquez, right? And what was that, a few months ago, right?
Yeah. He came in at 189.
Yeah. But the thing about it is he wants to fight more than what they've been doing. In other words, you know, he would have liked to fight this fall, but that's not what PBC has been doing because they can't make fights. Remember, how many fights were they supposed to put on for 2024?
16.
And how many did they actually end up?
Like
3 or 4?
Like about 4.
Yeah.
I think. Somebody help me out with that.
Far less than what they have projected. So you're looking at a man who's a victim of that.
He said the Cookie Monster. Stop it.
Oh, damn. That's hilarious.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hell with y'all, man. I'm not doing it, man.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to hell with y'all.
That's a product of PBC, man. That's what they've been doing. And it's unfortunate because this is one fighter that I can actually attest that wants the smoke. He wants to fight the best
what
guys.
starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C. Who cares about the other things? C is for Cookie. That's good enough for me. C is for Cookie. That's good enough for me. C is for Cookie. That's good enough for me. Oh, Cookie starts with C. Oh.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I hate y'all. God damn. I got. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stormy. God damn.
No, I'm just saying that he's been wanting to, you know, face the best of opposition. He wanted Canelo. They wouldn't make the fight with Canelo, so he moves up and he takes on a dangerous fight in Vasquez, in which he didn't look as good as he normally does, even leading to people say certain things about him. But now, when you look at Morrell, you know, he's not as active as he would like to be as well, but they're getting ready to face each other. Now, I have no doubt that he should be in shape by the time that they meet each other in the ring.
Yeah.
But the rust factor is going to be there because these are young men who are going to come in and be somewhat out of shape.
Yeah.
When we talk about out of shape, we're not talking about making weight. We're talking about being active and sharp. And though Morrell fought Kalashnikov in August, 2 months after David fought Vasquez, he doesn't have as many fights under his belt as David, you know.
Right.
So
right.
it's really, you know, but we could blame PBC. And there's only a year apart in their ages. I mean, David is Morel is 26 and Benavidez is 27. So they should be fighting each other. This is the time that these two men should be coming together. But just think about it. It could be a 2-fight situation too. It could be like, you know, how things end up playing out. These two men might end up facing each other again.
You know, the professional thing is, if you're whatever weight you are, 175, 168, 160, if that's where you're at, and you do this for a living, it is your job to always be within 5 to 7 pounds of your target weight, so that when you hit the camp and you're just hitting the bag and doing the extra running and running drills, it's not a fat camp.
Well,
that weight is going to come off.
That's the thing. And can you take them down? Because it's like,
oh shit,
very unappealing. But I just want to say, but that's the thing. Understand how these modern coaches and trainers do. Mm-hmm. There has to be a line of discipline. The trainer can't do it for you, but he could stress it. He could fine you. He could do different things to make sure you hold your disciplines, but they don't do that. And these guys think, oh, I'm a millionaire, I don't have to listen, I don't have to do that or conform. Well, you don't have to have my assistance either, because if I'm going to make that 10, 20, 30%, whatever of your purse, you can bet your bottom line that I am going to do my part. No one will ever be able to say that I took a shortcut or just was in it for the money or whatever. It's going to be a representation that when my line, my rep is on the line, it's like not just what you do, but what I do. And people look at me and be like, you know what? I respect this man. This is the discipline that he holds. This is the type of camp that he's going to run. You're either in or you're out. It's as simple as that.
True story. And just when we're talking about weight training and being disciplined while you're in camp, as far as the health aspects is concerned, the brother Evins in the Strong House, man. What is going on, brother? How you doing?
What's good, gentlemen? And
How's
I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate all the boxing platforms that I can get a chance to talk a little bit of boxing, talk a little bit of everything, just boxing.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
How y'all doing?
Man, we good, brother. I am Drew Titan out of New York. That is the trainer extraordinaire, Stormy B, man, out of Chi-Town.
Chi-Town. It's cold over there.
Yeah, it's cold, man. It's cold.
yeah, we had a cold snap, man. It was 23 degrees this morning, man. I said, what is happening?
Whoa, I ain't seen that kind of weather in decades, bro.
Yeah, you trust me, you ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing nothing. You ain't missing nothing, man. For real, man. So what's going on, Evans, man? So you got the platforms, y'all, man. Talk to me. What's going on?
Yeah, you know, it's boxing antics, man. You know, sometimes they go left and they go right, and you know, I'm no longer working with two-time world champ. You know, we had a disagreement, and it's moving on to the next. I'm a little more calmer now than I was a couple of weeks ago. You know, so it is what it is, man. I'm coming off of the 2024 season with 2 world titles with Jenny Fuse and Michaela Mayer. So going into 2025, man, I'm looking to work with more champions and stay in the game of boxing. I can't dwell on the stuff that we didn't do, in England, but I had a good run, and it was my decision to walk away. And it's on to the top now. Ain't no stopping. But boxing, man, sometimes people forget where it came from, bro. You can't forget. You can't forget in no aspect of your life, no matter what it is, there's a foundation that's built, and a lot of times, at this level I've experienced where, the fighter becomes the champion, you know, they get in the ring and they take the brunt of the, you know, the physical part, but you didn't get there by yourself. And there's a team of people that have built these fighters. And a lot of times, you know, fighters forget. And it's crazy because I have a passion for what I do. I love all my fighters, man. But where I'm from, man, if you lose loyalty, you lose respect. Bro, the old heads in my neighborhood, they kick your ass and shook your hand and sent you home. You know, so respect and loyalty is big. I don't care how much money you making.
You know, Evan, that's one of the reasons why I elected not to just move on into coaching professionally, because I didn't want to deal with the disloyal and the antics of people going behind your back and talking with other folks and making side deals over here and this and that. It was something that I just, you know, elected that. But I've worked with some guys, both amateur and pro here out of Chicago, did that for a number of years. And, you know, my knowledge of the X's and O's of the sport, I can do that in my sleep.
Right.
And what you're talking about, just as you came in, I was just sharing with Drew in the chat that, you know, fighters, because he had that image of David Benavidez being really out of shape at a press commercial that they were filming, he and Morrell, and show the picture so he could see it, Drew. But
oh man,
I was telling everybody, how do you how do you avoid this? A coach has to set a line of discipline, and he has to be able to convey that to his charges. And if the charges don't want it, then you walk. Because I am not going to support this kind of foolishness.
Wow.
There's too much money to be made for you to be coming in all of those pounds walking around. It's
how much is he weighing in that picture?
He got to be at least 220.
That's got to be at least 200 plus pounds right there, at least.
And when is the fight?
February 22nd.
No, is it?
No, February 1st. I'm sorry.
February 1st.
That's 8-9 weeks, right?
Yup.
Yeah.
So now he got a fat camp.
Yes.
That's ridiculous, man.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something on the real. When I competed at track and field at the Olympic level, bro, I was a big jumper. And I'm talking about big is like 180, 179. And I was big in everybody's muscular wise, but I had to have my own shit intact. You know what I'm saying? Like, but and I didn't have all the big giant sponsors and shit like that. But when you're making this kind of money, when you're making money where you can have a chef, you can have a masseuse, there is no excuse for fighters to come in overweight. And but guess what? Camp's going to be rough.
And
that's 20-some pounds at least.
Because you know, having you on here, and I tell these guys all the time, because you've been there, you've been in the camp with the pros and world-class champion fighters. Check this out. If you coming in the camp like that, forget the fact that it's a fat camp, but how good can you get? How sharp can you be when you're like that?
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, yeah. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, if you are staying, and this is what I told them, I said, listen, the old school guys used to do it this way. They pick 10 to 12 pounds above fight weight.
Yeah.
While they're active in their career. When they retire, that's a different thing. But to have the discipline to stay between 12 pounds or so of your fighting weight. So when you go to fighting, like Marvin Hagler, he did it all the time. When you saw Marvin, Marvin didn't have fat on his body at all.
Right.
And a lot of times when he made weight for his championship fights, another couple of pounds, and he could have fought at the junior division. because he would come in just that honed and ready. And when he was asked, after becoming the undisputed champ at middleweight, they asked him, why don't you try moving up to light heavyweight and taking on Michael Spinks? And Hagler said, I'm a middleweight. That's what he said. I'm a middleweight, and this is where my home is. I'm a middleweight. A man has to know his limitations.
Right.
But you saw what you got out of him, optimized fighting at middleweight.
Yeah.
You know, and so when these guys are running around here, but they want to be declared great, and they want someone to say, well, you know, by the time it's done, I want to be in the Hall of Fame. Dude, you so far away from the Hall of Fame, it's a shame, because it's like you're nowhere near that, because you don't have the right mindset, you don't have the disciplines to get yourself honed and stay within that. And I talk about this all the time as well. When guys have short matches, right? You're in shape, you go out there, you stop a guy in 3 or 4 rounds. Get your people to make another fight within another few months, because you don't want to waste the training.
Yeah.
You don't want to waste the training. You want to keep that edge. You want to remain sharp. Joseph Parker fought 4 times over the past year.
I saw that.
And he come in there and he beat Deontay Wilder. He beat Zhilei Zhang. You know what I mean? He couldn't do that if he was taking a year off and coming in every 9 or 10 months or whatever.
Exactly.
No, it comes with that activity.
That's right.
Because you not when the body, when the mind is sharp, the body has no choice but to follow suit if you're putting in that work. You see, and it's a waste. We watch guys like Tank Davis. He'll go out and knock a guy out in 5 or 6 rounds, but then he won't fight for another 8 or 10 or 9 months, you know, whatever. It's like
you're gonna catch
you're
up.
wasting it.
Let me ask you, Evan, okay, because you know we'll get into, because I don't know what's going on with you, Regis. I'll ask you about that in a minute. But if you like when you work with a fighter, even if they have nothing lined up, they hire you to do a job.
Right.
True or false? Aren't you hired to also be in their ear? Hey, listen, you're fighting at 140. What in between fights? I don't want to see you getting any heavier than 150. True or false?
Well, you know what? That's funny you asking that, because that's what I did Regis' whole career. And you know, until he went out and hired a conditioning, a nutritionist. But at the same time, you know, I worked with him all year round. I said, we're gonna at least meet twice a week, bro.
Wow.
I mean, and at least you got to stay within, I would say the most would be 15 pounds. Listen, people talk crazy about Floyd Mayweather, but he was always on point.
He's always in shape.
Always in great shape. And when you come into camp and you're fighting, I think Benavidez fights at 168, right? 168?
Well, they're at 175
now.
Both
okay, so he's fighting at 175.
Yeah.
So that's still 29, 30, almost 30 pounds. You know, to do that in 8 weeks, that means you got to start right now, and you know, you lose a lot of power, a lot of stamina. I mean, like you said, it's gonna be a camp where we trying to get him down in weight.
That was the when they were doing a commercial to promote the fight, and we saw the behind the scenes. It's on Instagram, and I'm looking at a Morrell. Morrell's already in shape.
Yeah,
he's already in shape. The trunk is down. You can still see the outline of the 6-pack. He's not. He looked like he's retaining some water, but he can eat a head of cabbage and shit that out in a day, and he'll get on the scale.
Yeah, you're right.
He'll be like 178.
You know about that cabbage, huh?
Oh, bro, I work out. I know all the tricks. You know,
I thought I was keeping that shit a secret.
Oh no, bro, that's old. I know. I know about that. About that.
That's that old school. When I was competing the track, my coach would make me cabbage on Friday nights. Every Friday I had cabbage, bro. That shit, woo.
Yeah. You'll feel like you'll float off the bowl when you're done.
Oh yeah. You do it right.
You know? So yeah, but you know, Benavidez, he gonna need a few heads of cabbage and just water. I mean,
Yeah,
right
man.
now, when he was done with that photo shoot, he's on a diet of a palm full of pasta, 2 heads of cabbage, and some chicken bouillon. That's it.
Man,
And
I have not seen him that heavy before.
Hey man, he's not the most. He has a dad bod, and he just.
Well, he was a big kid.
Yeah, he was. He was a pudgy kid. And the thing is now, what he doesn't understand is he's gonna, for the next 2 weeks, is gonna be a fat camp. It's just gonna be him working out. When he gets closer to the weigh-in, he's gonna have to fine-tune it. And what he's not gonna realize is he may look good, he may even feel a little bit good, but the power's not gonna be there. And I'm gonna tell you something else. His power from 68 to 75 didn't transition. And he's not like a knockout artist. He's a volume puncher.
Right.
But he had he didn't have the easiest time at 175 in his last fight. He didn't have the easiest time. So Morrell, I'm assuming, let's say Morrell don't touch nothing for 2 months. He might go to like 190. Morrell seems to be a naturally bigger guy and an in shape bigger guy than Benavidez. So when we get closer to this fight, it's going to be an interesting topic. But based off of that picture, I have to lean towards David Morrell right now.
So what we talking about? A nice bet here or what? What we talking about?
Oh man,
Is he the underdog?
Is Morrell the underdog?
He's gonna be the underdog.
Yeah, he's the underdog. But I'm going to say this. The Cuban School of Boxing.
There you go.
That levels the playing field tremendously. Because you can believe for every Morrell, there's a guy better than him that you ain't heard about.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You know,
That Cuban school ain't nothing to fuck with, man. They get serious.
Morrell got something that Benavidez would wish that he had, and it's going to make a world of a difference.
2 words, 1 name.
Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie been in the game for a long time.
That's right.
Been in the game for a long time.
I don't think this ain't going 12.
You don't think?
No, this ain't going 12. This ain't going 12.
So you taking Morrell?
Right now, I might flip when we get closer based off of because I follow him on the gram and I like David Benavidez. But I like David Morrell too. But based off of that picture, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. And I can't, in good faith right now, I couldn't pick David Benavidez right now. I got to see how he looks and how he feels when we get closer to the fight.
What I like is the fact that Ronnie is allowing Morrell to go ahead and take this fight.
Yeah,
because if he wasn't ready for this fight,
Ronnie wouldn't do it.
Ronnie wouldn't let him fight this fight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. Morrell goes in there and defeats Benavidez in good fashion or even stops him. It's going to catapult him in a manner of which you haven't seen since the days of guys like Evander and Sweet Pea and those guys. Because remember, those guys became world titleists in less fights. You know what I'm saying? And Morrell, I think this will be like his 11th fight or 12th fight, which is right on par with what you're seeing when you talk about a guy like Beterbiev. Beterbiev is, 21 fights with 20 knockouts.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, he had that outstanding long amateur career. But what we're talking about when we shift into Morrell, we're talking about the quality of fights that you're having. And this will be the best and the biggest fight that he's been in.
Yes.
But like I said, he's got that pedigree in the corner there. And they would not put him in there if they were not confident. I know that.
I didn't think about that. You're right. Absolutely right. I think Ronnie's the top guy. Yeah.
Man, Ronnie's the truth, man. When is the Latin month? When because I know Black History Month is February. When is Latin month? When is that?
Man, that's a good idea. It's February sometime.
Nah, February is Black History Month, but
You mean the Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, that it's made for like Latin
Yes,
history.
I think Cinco de Mayo is May 5th.
It's May, yeah.
That's gonna be a fun month, Storm. We need to review Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, fucking Argentina. They got some great guys. There, man. That's gonna be a heavy month because I want to cover all of that.
Did you see the top ranked video that I sent you?
Yes. Woo.
Yeah.
Argentina got some tough kids, man.
Oh man.
It's something in that water in Argentina. Even the women fighters are tough.
Ain't no joke. God damn.
Yeah, it's funny. I worked the girls' corner from Argentina in Dubai a couple of years ago, and I could have swore she won that fight. She fought this gold medalist from France. It was a husband and wife pair. I forget the names, but they were gold medalists. And the girl I was working with, Argentina girl, beat her, double jabbed her all night, but they gave it to the other girl. Yeah,
God,
crazy.
Man. So, Evan, I've been hearing some things. Didn't really read it. Shout out to my brother Thomas. He connected us. What's the story? What happened?
No, it started back when Regis hired a new manager. His new manager is also the manager of Sandy Ryan and Katie Taylor. So when Jenny won her first title, her world title in California, I met the guy, and I think at that moment I just found out that Regis had hired a new manager. So I'm cool. It's okay. That's not my game. I don't care who you hire as doing your book work and all that. Has nothing to do with me. But the manager tried to call me and tell me what I was going to do and how things are going to run. I just told him, listen, I don't work for you. So many words. Regis could have told me what his manager told me after 15 years, and I felt that was disrespectful. But guess what? I still had to roll with it. So I was training Michaela Mayer, and he was also Sandy Ryan's manager. And we get to New York, and the guy approaches me like in my space, wanted me to shake his hand. I was like, bro, I don't have to shake your hand. And a commotion. This commotion happened right, maybe an hour before the Ryan and Mayer fight. I was just down there minding my business. The guy disrespected me. So I'm talking to my fight on the phone about what the situation was, and I just felt like he took the wrong side. And for me, that's no loyalty. And then the rest after that, my mind's already kind of made up. But 3 weeks later, we got to work together in Manchester. So I'm professional. I did my job, and we came up short. But I felt there was disrespect for how the situation was handled, and I was trying to walk. And then, when you talk about money, I want all my money straight out the gate. And then I didn't feel like I got paid right on the last fight, and it was too much for me to deal with. I didn't want to deal with it no more. So I closed the gate and I walked off, man. Simple as that. I'm big on respect and loyalty, bro. And if you disrespect me, you have no loyalty, then guess what? It's time for me to go. I don't care how long we've been together. That should have meant something to a fighter who could have called me and said, hey, coach, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. But to have a guy you just picked up to come and talk to me like I'm a kid, I'm almost 60 years old, man. You got me fucked up, bro.
And Drew, what do I always say about character? And I talk about this sport. What do I always say?
In this
fighters with poor character, it shows most at the biggest moments of their careers, the biggest fights, biggest promotions and whatnot. It happens, See, and that's one of those things. And I've always been very keen with my eye on character in individuals, and I'm telling you, we're seeing a number of these young men that really need a lesson in life.
Uh,
Not so much losses, but lessons. And one of
yes.
the greatest messages that can be sent is to, abdicate, get away from it. Because
Yes.
see, what you're doing, Evan, you can do to the day you die.
Yes,
What
sir.
they do is only a small window
Mm-hmm.
that they can get through. And some, it's over before they got started.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they don't understand that.
Now,
Yeah.
now, Evan, did y'all ever did he ever bother to call you on the phone or sit down with you, have a heart to heart, and say, okay, look, I want to go in this direction. I appreciate you. It was nothing of that. It was nothing like
Nope.
that.
Nope.
You see, I got a
Nope.
problem
So
with that.
going into training camp against Catterall, he came into camp negative, talking about what he wasn't going to do. He wasn't going to do this. He wasn't going to do that. Because somebody was in his ear, I guess, telling him he didn't need to do any conditioning. And that's for the. And I'm gonna say this because one thing about me, I'm not gonna hold my tongue, bro. Now, for 29 fights, you had 24 knockouts. All right? You knocked out 24 people out of 29. That's almost 100% knockout ratio. And those were fights. They were not boxing matches. Okay? And for all those fights, even the fights that he lost, he finished the fights. Even when he lost to Josh Taylor, he finished that fight. He almost knocked Josh Taylor out in the last round. Devin Haney, he got knocked down. He finished the fight. He knocked Cepeda out in the 11th round. Catterall knocks him down twice. He gets up and finishes. I think my job is done. So I'm in the wind is saying that I'm the reason that he lost those fights. I think you got to go to boxing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with boxing. I mean, conditioning. Got something to do with boxing.
They tried to say that you was the reason why he came up short in the fights that he came up short. Who's saying this?
I
You
don't
saying-
know. I know it's that's what's been going around. I can't pinpoint who said it, but the way this camp was orchestrated, he didn't want to do shit, bro. He didn't want to do nothing. The things that I did with him, I did at the high level because I knew what was going to happen. And for years, I kept telling Regis, keep your right hand up, bro. You throw that left hand, your right hand is almost on the fucking floor. I'm not the boxing coach. That's not my place. But anytime you go against a guy like a Devin Haney, a guy like Jack Catterall, guys who are very smart, intelligent fighters. Remember, Regis started fighting when he was 17, right? So if you go look at the fight, that right hand was down and Catterall hit him. I mean, I'm sick of people trying to blame me for that shit, bro. When myself is a hunter on top of a hunter, because he finished every fight at the highest level, strong, durable, can punch hard every round. All my training sessions are geared to have these fighters maintain that power throughout the fights. I know about muscle endurance. I know about muscle recovery. I know about explosion. I know about all that shit because I lived it as a track and field athlete. I did it all. I done every fucking jump in every plyometric in the world for 27 years of my life. And when I got into boxing, it's biomechanical, it's recovery, it's all that in one. So I based my training off of the stuff that I'd done and then things I just learned. So, to blame me for that shit is ridiculous. And then to end it the way you ended is crazy. Not even come on, bro. I'm okay with that though, because what God has for Evins Tobler is for Evins Tobler. And Regis Porter can't say nothing bad about me. Not one thing, bro.
Listen, man, this is what I have to add to what you're saying. Just remember to keep it in the data bank that character is much more important than all of the physical all of the psychological, all of the talent,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because you have to have something to build
sir.
upon, and character is the foundation. If
Mhm.
that does not exist, or if it's poor, you're starting off shaky to begin with.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time when it's going to show itself. I told Drew, the chat, and our followers when the fight was announced that Regis was going to be fighting Jack Catterall. What did I say, Drew?
You say he was gonna get his ass kicked,
Yep.
and I'll be damned.
And
And
it
I-
wasn't. And Evans, I'm being very honest here because
Mhm.
everybody know I'm a straight shooter when it comes to this stuff. See, I don't pick fights and everything because like I said, my background and what I look at is not what boxing fanatics or supporters look at. I look at it as if I'm working the corner of the guy or working
Mhm.
across the corner of the guy.
Mhm.
And I knew that Regis had poor character for a long time.
Yeah.
And the thing is like when things are going good, that's fine.
Mhm.
But when you run into opposition and you have bumps in the road and everything, that's when you're supposed to dig down into what's supposed to be there. The
Right.
reason that you all ended up with the problems that you ended up with is because he was shaky to begin with.
Mhm.
That's just being honest. And
Right.
I don't know the kid. And I call him a kid because I'm just about 60 years old myself.
Absolutely, right?
You see what I'm saying? So
Let me go finish your point. Finish your point, Storm.
So when I say this, because even when he lost the fight to Josh Taylor
Mhm.
over there, a fight that he could have won, going into the fight, I said in order for Regis to win that fight, he's going to have to come outside of himself of what he has done normally going into this, because he's going into another country to
Mhm.
fight this guy, and that's basically fighting him in his backyard.
Mhm.
So he's going to have to do some things that may be uncomfortable for him, which
Mhm.
means to assert himself a certain kind of way,
Gosh, bro, you killing me.
assert himself a certain
You're
kind of
killing me.
way, and look to do, because he can't just be who he's been. He's got to be a little bit different, similar to how Galal Yafai attacked Sonny Edwards yesterday. He came outside of himself to do something that was not necessarily expected, and that's what he didn't do. And then when the fight was over, the decision was announced. What did Regis say in the ring? Oh, the better man won tonight. If you can sit up there and say that, what you're telling me is you didn't bring the best of what you had to in order to be victorious in what you were
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
And so therefore, either you don't believe in yourself, you're cutting corners or something, but that is that character flaw that I'm talking about. Because real spirited fighters who believe they are the best and can be the best and are, want to prove to everyone that they the best, they don't talk like that.
Mhm.
And then he
Bro.
repeated it again when he fought Devin.
Yes.
And then
I
he
got a
repeated
question.
it one more time in this loss to Catterall.
I got a question.
So he's done you a
Evan.
favor, brother. I'm telling you directly.
Yeah, he did do you a favor, and because you don't want to be, because once I saw that character flaw, a person with poor character, you don't want to be around him. So he did you a favor. So let me ask you a question, and I mean he's not loyal to you at this point. So gloves are off. You can answer this if you want to, whatever. At any point after the Devin Haney fight, and I appreciate you selling that fight, man. You did a hell of a job, and I know that wasn't your job, but you did what you did. That's cool. I loved it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
After the fight, before his next fight, after the Ryan Garcia Haney situation, at any point did he talk to you and say, "Man, Devin was on drugs"? Did he ever say anything remotely close to that to you personally?
Yeah, they thought that Devin was on drugs. But listen, this is what I said. I said, and for the mental, for the psyche, from the beginning, listen, and I try to stand my lane, but I treat the kid like he was my son.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you must attack Devin Haney the same way Madonna attacked Mayweather. but I don't know boxing. I don't know boxing. The same fight that Ryan Garcia had with Haney is the same fight Regis should have had. Right? He wasn't there mentally for that fight either. He was somewhere, I don't know where his mind was. He wasn't there either for that fight. And the same with the Josh Taylor fight. I said the same thing. Attack. You have to attack. We got 23,000 people. They're not going to give you shit. You got to attack. Guess what? So this is another thing. When you're dealing with athletes, you got to know what you're dealing with. And he almost knocked Josh Taylor out the last round, which is what he should have been doing in the first part of the fight.
Okay.
But that ain't my job. But it's my fault that the Devin Haney fight didn't go where it was. I gave the game plan away.
Wow. I think that the Maidana Floyd comparison, in theory, it sounds good. I don't think that Regis has the same tools.
Mm-hmm.
But I get your point. And Devin maintains great distance. But I get your point. His arms was too short. He had to close the distance.
He had to close the distance.
Yeah.
Well, see, what that's called is called selling out. You have to give a little bit of a sacrifice in order to impose yourself on the other party. You have to do the thing that makes them uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And at certain intervals, when you do this, it's not just about being all out reckless, but but it also has to be worked on in the gym first. You know, you have to apply that philosophy and that principle, and you work on it. So when you do get under the lights and you decide to do these things, you incorporate it within a sense. And I tell you, for those who work on tactic and strategic means of being able to have something else to go to besides what they got of you on tape, it makes a difference.
Yes.
I often have told the story here on this air how Tommy Brooks and Don Turner trained Evander Holyfield for that first fight against Mike Tyson, that they spent 2 weeks of the camp of sparring where they had an assortment of sparring partners that they were putting one guy in after the other, but they had these, it was like under a minute, like 30 seconds, these drills. They ring the bell and the guys just go balls out and attack Evander, and he had to stave them off because Tyson had that opening round onslaught and he would come after his opponents. So it took Evander 2 weeks to get that down, because each time it was a fresh guy coming at him and everything, and he had to get that rhythm of trying to be prepared and everything.
Right.
And finally,
one of those guys was David Tua, right?
Right.
Oh, shit.
And after they got that down pat, then they went to their regular sparring. But it was like, it was important for them to catch that, right? To catch the timing and everything. And guess what, Evans? When the fight happened, the bell rang for the first round, and Tyson ran out after Evander, and Evander was ready for Tyson to come out with that big left hook, right? Tyson throws an overhand right and damn near knocks Evander out in the first round with that overhand right. If Evander didn't take the type of punch that he's capable of taking, it would have knocked him out. But if you go back and watch the fight, you see Tyson, boom, that right hand, and it kind of knocked Evander sideways, and it woke him up because his training, he went immediately into defending himself, fighting back, and everything. But if they had not worked on what they worked on, he would have been aced in that first round, just like a lot of other guys. I tell that story often because I want people to understand this is being able to make an analogy and an assessment of what you're looking at, and how, you know, those who are ill prepared find themselves in a precarious situation, and those who are prepared find themselves on the road and path to success.
You're right. I agree with you.
That's a true story. I asked that question about Regis because, to me, after the Devin loss, and I've watched his career since then.
Mm-hmm.
It's become like, damn, he's full of excuses. And then the fallout with you, I was like, what's going on in this camp?
Yeah.
It's strange. And salute to Shawa and Thomas, he has the same trainers as Oshaki Foster. So Oshaki, you know, his career is on the upward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at Regis, and he's kind of like limbo, borderline on a cliff about to fall.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you take the blunt of the blow for that. You're not in their strategy. You can suggest something, but he can't execute. That's not your problem. Your task was to get him physically ready for the fight. So I don't know, when did this become your problem? Do you think someone told him?
Yeah, he got people in his ear, bro. He got people in his ear. I know that. And you know, Regis don't make his mind up. He 1 minute he say something, next minute he say something else. So, but when you're dealing with real men, you can't be doing shit like that, because, you know, I mean, I could have been a loose fucking cannon. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't that guy no more. But you just got to deal with men like you deal with men, and be honest and be straight. You know, but I felt that untrustworthy when he came into camp, telling what he didn't want to do, and I'm like, what? He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to. I guess people tell him you don't need to do any more conditioning. You don't need to train hard. But that's how you won all those fights. You can say what the fuck you want. You won those fights off of pure guts, grit, and being in shape. You know, you're not a Devin Haney. So I tell you, look, make them stop you. You know?
Oh shit! Wow.
True.
I mean, wow.
But see, it goes back to what I attest. It's like, you know, when guys, when they're allowed to think within a certain space, you know, it's just like a basketball coach. So let's use a basketball analogy here, because when a basketball coach got a guy like LeBron, and LeBron is able to make remarks that the reasons that they weren't successful on a particular night might be because somebody else didn't step up and stuff like that. That coach is supposed to be able to pull LeBron to the side and have a conversation with him. Now, it's too late in his career now. But that should have been done a long time ago, that message be conveyed, because it took root in the personality that he is as a person and everything. And remember, it's always somebody else. It's never his fault. Never his fault.
Absolutely.
You know, and you can't live that way and be successful even in the greatest times of, let's just say, for the sake of talking about the sport of the NBA basketball, when it's clutch. What does clutch really mean? Meaning that when things get tight, you're still capable of being a professional and come through and do your job. See, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be successful and pull out a victory, and sometimes you may not pull out the victory. But the whole point is to show up.
Show up.
Let me give you an example of that, since you use basketball. I'm gonna take y'all back to the 90s. Michael Jordan, clutch.
Clutch.
Larry Bird, this the 80s. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Reggie Miller, clutch.
Yes.
John Starks, not so much. Not so much. Trust me, I was here for all of it. Not so much. He had one good game, and that put him on the map. Then he was streaky. And the winning formula that you do have is your strength and conditioning coach.
Bro.
I don't understand why the hell, of anybody to sever ties with, what the fuck did you have to do with any of that?
Bro, listen. Devin, if you go back and look at the face-off, Devin told him straight up, bro, this is what you have. And guess what? The young champion was right. So I said, this is what you have. You're in great shape. You're a fucking fighter. You ain't afraid. Do you until they stop what you do. Because if I'm a boxer, guess what? You got to stop me from boxing. But if you get out there and you square up with a guy like Devin Haney, it's gonna be a long night. Not just for him, but for anybody else. Fucking was a hard night for Lomachenko.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why I'm not trying to box Devin Haney. I'm not trying to box him. I'm trying to make him uncomfortable the whole fucking time. And he was in great shape to do that because he still got knocked down and still got up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my job has been done his whole career. And to go out like that on your career with a guy who not just I sacrificed 15 years where I could never get fuck the money. He can keep the money. He ain't got to pay me nothing. But the time that I spent, I can't ever get that back. And thank God for Bill Haney and Devin Haney, because although that wasn't my plan to get there and do that, my plan was to go there and represent him on a platform that they already had you already back on the bottom, bro. I told him, I said, you're going to get out on this platform and they're going to make you feel like not the champion. So I've been on the platforms with the best in the world. I competed against guys like Lewis and Myrick, the top track and field athletes that ever touched the planet. I've been in situations where I felt like shit, but I had to dig down inside and fight in my own lane. So I said, bro, when we get out to this podium, I guarantee you Eddie Hearn gonna try to make you speak first, which is what they supposed to have done. So I said, if they do that, we're not gonna do it. And the shit, bro, I didn't even know what viral meant. I didn't know. Honestly, I was like, what is that? But everything, before I went out there, I went and I did research. I looked up me and my buddy Marlon Johnson. Shout out to Marlon Johnson too, who helped set up that fight for Regis, who said we're gonna put Evans on the stage and we're gonna let him do this. So shout out to Marlon and 3MG Boxing. So what happened when I got up there, I was like, this is crazy. Everything that I said came out like it did.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's like, bro, we threw the whole, and so when I did my research, because where I'm from, bro, you know, guys, the guys that making all the money in the hood, they flashy. So I knew the background for Bill Haney. So I said, well, let me see if this kid cut from that same cloth, because Bill cut from a different cloth than his son.
Right.
So I looked him up and I was like, this is a good kid. He from private school kid. Yeah. So I wasn't gonna say nothing. I wanted to just know who I was dealing with.
Yeah.
So when I got out there and Haney started calling me a bum ass nigga, I said, I'm the most decorated person on this stage, athletic wise. You, Regis, your daddy, ain't none of y'all got more credentials than me as an athlete. And I said, how you gonna call me a bum ass nigga and you're a private school kid? I train private school kids. They don't talk like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing, I had my notes. I had everything prepared. I knew how many fights he had, how many fights he lost. I knew his background. I knew all that. I don't know what, I must have threw a monkey wrench in the game, because Bill Haney comes back and says, you got invited. How you gonna fight the champion to the podium? It's like, wait a minute, we're in the wrong place.
Well, you did do a good job in selling it. You even had me a little hot under the collar.
Coach, that wasn't I wasn't even trying to, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that was gonna, I wasn't even thinking that's gonna sell a fight, but guess what? Guess what? If I wouldn't have done that, my name would have been buried behind Regis Prograis name. My work would have been buried, because guess what? You ever Regis Prograis talk about his conditioning? He never talks about that. He talked about his boxing coach. He don't ever talk about the cut man. He'll never talk about the nutritionist. He never did that. And I told him, I said, listen, bro. And I told him years ago, I said, take a page from Mayweather. When they put that mic in your face, whatever your faith is, you represent. But you give your team thanks. If you can name them, because guess what? This is a business for us as well. It ain't just about you. You didn't get up on this podium because you went to the gym by yourself. I said, remember those things. And then represent your family. And then you take the interview.
Yeah.
That's how you do. That's how you do media.
You went viral because if you don't know, DHP, Devin and Bill, they're friends to the show. Bill's my guy. So
Shit.
Yeah, he's my guy. So I listen. I heard everything, and I was just laughing, because it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like that. And the next day, everyone's online to my old man. Regis got a stripper in his camp, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Man, that was
but check it out. Hey, but listen, that shit. I own that shit because I'm not a stripper. I did a bodybuilding show, right? And the very next day, I went to Aruba for 2 weeks, and they had a carnival party. I have no uniform, no costume. The lady said, "Hey, I'm gonna put these tassels on you. You got some briefs?" I said, "Yeah." Throw the things on. Look, bro. Till this day, that I was in great shape. Till this day, I was one of the best nights of my life. I said, bro, yeah, that was me. I ain't trying to hide.
Bro, that's funny, bro. That's funny.
But I don't know where they got that picture from, bro. I said, where they get that fucking picture from? But I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know how to come back off of that. And my boy I was like, what the fuck? So my boy Marlon Johnson from 3G Boxing, he said, well, what happened? I said, it was a bodybuilding contest. He said, that's what you got to say. So I was like, it's the truth though. But it looked like I was out there shaking for money. Bro,
listen, man. I knew what it was. I'm very familiar with bodybuilding and things like that.
Yeah.
I had the chat might remember. I had a cat come in here. Hilarious. Oh, Drew, he called me some porn nigga. What's his name? What's this guy's name? Dude came in and called me. Oh no, it wasn't here. It was on this other guy's channel. He said, "Oh, Drew up here looking like Brian Pumper." I'm like, why the fuck would you call me Brian Pumper? What the fuck is that? Some diesel porn star? And I'm like, yo, that you're gay, dude. And that's all right. Just get away. I mean, goddamn. But I get it, man. When that picture was released, I said, bro, gotta be at a bodybuilding competition. That's the first thing I said. But niggas was like, stripper. I was like, yo, I know.
Man, they ran that.
It sold, and it was so funny, man.
Yeah.
It was so funny, man. It was so funny.
I had a great time with it. I was walking down the street in San Francisco. This lady said, well, how much it costs? I said, how much you got? Bro, the whole city was on that shit, bro.
Oh man.
That was crazy. I said, how much you got? I said, how much it costs? How much you got? And she laughed. She said, I'm gonna be at the fight. Man, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. But man, that press conference catapulted my name in boxing. So then I was able to still talk about what I did as a professional. Because before that, the boxing world never knew about me, man. They didn't know anything about Evins Tobler, that I've been working with this kid for 13, 14 years. You know, that all those knockouts came from hard work, man. And when I met Regis Porter, he couldn't even run straight, bro. He couldn't even run. That's how I met him, because I saw him on the track. And I said, this dude form is killing me. I said, bro, I said, listen, just drop your arm. I said, I remember you from the gym. He said, yeah. I was like, so what are you doing? He said, well, I'm getting ready for my 4th fight. I said, you got anybody working with you for conditioning? And at the time, I was making meals for Ronnie Shields, Kermit Cintron. I was making meals for the Charlo twins and Savannah Jim in Houston. And so his manager at the time, Jay John, thanks Jay John for trusting me, bro. He hired me to come and train with Regis, and I didn't make no money. He said, the kid he's gonna be good. I said, I'm in, bro. I'm in for the long haul. He said, but down the line, he can make, because I didn't make no money at the beginning, man. I didn't make a dime. But I knew what it was. And I knew the sacrifice as an athlete who had to travel around. I've been all over the United States looking for coaches as a professional athlete. I knew the kid when he was working 3 and 4 jobs. Now you too big? Come on, bro. I know you. I know everything about you. If I want to be a messy motherfucker, I could get dirty, but that ain't who I am. I'm not gonna do that.
How has but you know, like Stormy said earlier, he actually did you a favor since it's like that. And since this happened, this has made its rounds around the boxing world, and I appreciate your time. I really do. What has changed for you, and has it changed for the better?
Well, yeah, it's when I look at it from a Christian side, from a standpoint, every door that God has closed for me, or every door that closed, I was doing something else. There's something bigger for me in store. I had a great career with Regis Prograis. I did my job at 100%, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better things. I'm coming into the 2025 season with 2 world championships under my belt, along with the things that I did with him, because you can't ever take that away. I was a part of 2 world titles. And then, you know, the boxing media has embraced me, man. They embrace who I am. This is who I'm at. I'm like this every day. So I can go to a platform and just be listening, and they'll acknowledge me. What a blessing, bro. What a great opportunity to move forward. Even being on this platform with you guys. Come on, man. I'm who does this? My name is known in the boxing world, so as God's willing, I'll get more opportunities. I was in Manchester. I did an interview with 13 Rounds. Shout out to them too. And they asked me who did I want to train. I was like, I would love to work with that big heavyweight Martin Piccoli. I'd like to work with Anthony Joshua. And they ran that a couple of weeks ago, and it went crazy. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's opportunities out there for Evins Tobler. You know, and my boy, and I'm gonna say this, that I wasn't gonna say it, man. So when they ran that ad on the interview with me and Piccoli, it looked like we was ain't nothing done with me and Piccoli. It was an interview, and I was asked a question. So Regis goes, and I'm gonna tell him, he goes on to the platform and puts on there, don't work with him. He'll ruin your career.
Wow.
That's what that weak ass nigga said.
Wow.
That's the hood in me. That's the hood in me.
See, well, no. Check this out. Now, see, Drew, do you see what I was saying earlier about character?
Yeah. Absolutely.
When I can identify it, bro. It's like it's another talent and gift that I have. And Drew knows that because we collaborate a lot, and we talk behind the scenes. We become good friends, and I've put him up on other things that have happened. That just having vision, being able to see, you know, and the whole point of that is to be able to take sound counsel and to be able to allow it to work for you, because you're a God-fearing man. I take it, and I've heard you mention being, you know, so always remember it this way: he'll never let you be ignorant.
Absolutely not.
There are things to be revealed and things that'll be shown and showcased, but it's up to you to have that third eye, to be able to take it and receive it, and to be able to store it and use it when necessary or whatever. So as long as you acknowledge that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
And you'll be blessed, because like I said earlier in this conversation, you can do this to the day you die.
Yes, sir.
They can't.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference.
Man, that shit hurt. That shit hurt me for real, bro. I was more hurt than upset about the comment. You can do anything else, but come on, man. Don't shit on me when I giving you everything, and to be a part of you being a 2-time champion, and you gonna go on there and make a comment like that about me? Come on, bro. I mean, that ain't right.
If there was some dirt by now, I mean, these kids, some of these kids today, you know, I call them kids. I'm 49 years old. When we talk about character, I mean, these kids are just messy. And you know, I'm not saying to go to their level. You don't need to do that.
Right.
I gotta figure if there was something personal that happened between y'all, he'd have leaked it already. Everybody's on Twitter and everything else spilling the beans on stupid stuff. I mean, he'd have leaked it by now. But
Hey,
I mean,
I ain't never had nothing personal with the kid. If anything,
What they would do, you know, in this instance, and just understand how modern society is. See, what he'll do, Evans, is he'll shadow you. He'll follow where you are, what you're doing, your appearances, even like being on this show this evening. And then he'll come around and try to say his piece against it or whatever, this and that. But again, that only invokes what we've already disclosed.
Yeah.
You know, the poor character. That's all that is.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I've often said, my chat knows that, you know, I get kind of graphic with my little metaphors and everything. When you poop and get off the pot, you don't care about where the contents go, right? You just want to make sure that the plumbing is working.
that's it.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As
Well,
far
I
as,
wanted to ask you a question that talking about Sandy Ryan and Michaela Mayer. What did you think of that situation that ended up being an attack on Sandy going into that evening's bout, and that person threw that red paint on her and everything? I had thought that would be a high profile fight for women's boxing and everything, but I really didn't like what happened to her in that. You can check my channel. I did a video on it. I talked about that. I broke that down. I really didn't like that. I thought that was a horrible representation for the U.S. to host a fighter who's come from overseas and come here and only look to do good things in the sport, and for someone to have an attack on her. What your thoughts on?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and I wasn't gonna say that either, but I'm gonna tell you what happened with that. An hour, like I said, an hour before I was sitting in the lobby waiting for Michaela to come down, and I was at the bar with my son-in-law. I was drinking some scotch, and remember I told you earlier that the same guy that Regis hired to be his manager is the same manager for Sandy Ryan. We had already had our disagreement about. I told him it wasn't a disagreement. I was just telling him, I'm not the one you need to be talking to, bro. You need to be talking to Regis. He's who you work for. You can't tell me nothing. If he wants to tell me something, you tell me. But he told me anyway. You know? So the guy walks up on me, and I'm talking about like he could have kissed me. Talking about, man, shake my hand. I said, bro, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not shaking your hand. I don't owe you nothing. You're not my friend. We share a fighter, and that's it. It's gonna be professional like that, but you in my space. So I stood up. I said, get the fuck out of my face, bro. He puts his hand behind his back. I was like, oh, he's trying to get me to do some dumb shit.
that's right.
So I said, no. I said, okay. I sat back down. Not even 8 minutes. I see Sandy. I'm at the bar with my son-in-law. I got my son-in-law videotaped it. To him in my face, me telling him to get the fuck out of my face. 8 minutes later, Sandy Ryan walks by. We're sitting at the bar because Michaela hadn't come down yet. And then all of a sudden, I see her run back inside. And I'm like, what happened? So I walk out to the lobby and said, somebody threw the paint on her. You know who they blame for that? They said I had something to do with that.
You can't be serious.
Yes. They had said I had something to do with that.
What the fuck?
And you know that's from the other side. That's from the other side. I don't know if it came from her. I don't, bro. Another thing is this. When you throw a bucket of paint on somebody, it goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere. Yeah.
She only had paint on her right side and on her foot. And then all the commotion that happened between her manager, who tried to provoke me to fight her. What a coincidence that happened 8 minutes, not even 10 minutes after he walks away and goes outside, and she comes out
That whole
after
thing
trying to
was
get me to start a fight with them. I didn't do it.
That whole thing was orchestrated. The interaction with you, and then where would they get a can of paint? They got out of bed that morning planning that shit.
I don't know, bro, but I was, and so when I got to, before I was going to Manchester, they were like, we're not gonna have you on a press conference. I said, okay, it's cool. I'm good. I said, every time I'm on a press conference, I'm representing Regis. I'm not representing I don't even say nothing about Evins Tobler. I represent my faith. I represent the team. I represent the fighter. So I know how to conduct myself in a press conference. Can I sell it? Can I talk shit in the fight? Yeah, I was talking shit back and forth with Sam Jones. Me and Sam Jones became pretty cool. But I reached out. I said, I want Sandy Ryan to know that I had nothing to do with that. Now, one thing, I don't even know if she knows that her manager tried to come up to me and start a fight with me. She don't know that. But they blame me for that.
Did they get any video?
I got the video of the guy coming in my face, but I don't know about the paint being thrown.
Like the actual assault, because that's an assault.
I don't think they got a video of it.
How could
I wasn't even. It was at least no more than 10 minutes after he came into my face and he walked outside. I was sitting at the bar, and then all of a sudden she runs back in.
Well, now from hearing the inside that of your experience on that evening, it looks even more iffy now that it's possible that the Ryan camp could have set something up for drama's sake or whatever, to get some kind of sentimental. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was.
We're living in some weird
what a
times.
coincidence.
Yeah.
No, these guys think you're stupid. That's what it was. They wanted you to act real niggardly.
Yes, but guess what I did? When I thought about it, I was like, we're about to fight in about 2 hours, and this guy's in my face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Listen, anybody else would have had his head, bro.
These dudes are stuntmen.
Yeah, and that's the guy Regis sent to me to talk to me about what he could have said to me like a man.
I hate these kids, man. I hate these kids' character flaws. They have a whole bunch of character flaws. Just out of curiosity, you ever met Regis' parents?
Yes, I'm cool with the parents. I'm cool with the dad. I'm cool with them. I sent the dad. I said, listen, Mr. Program, I'm about to step away from your son. I'm about to step away after 15 years. And he was like, okay, well, good luck with that. That was it.
I mean, I guess Regis is grown. He can't,
yeah, and his dad, pretty cool, man. His birthday a day before mine. There's some people that are in that camp that know I gave everything I had to that kid. Everything I had.
So it seems
my
like
professionalism as an athlete, my wisdom as an athlete and as a man and as a father figure, as a friend, as a motivator, I gave that kid everything I had, bro. And to be, what are you upset with me about? I don't get it.
I'm real big on men behaving like men, and I try and get the lineage of a man. Like, okay, if you're acting a certain way, where'd you get that from? And I want to know who their father is, who their grandfather is, and because you could do the best way you can, but sometimes your kids can stray away from from the principles you instilled in them. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm curious about who this new group that's working with him. How did that happen for him to treat you that way? Because it sounds like you've been the most solid person around him since this whole thing, since his career. So since I don't know how you became the scapegoat of, I guess, his misfortune.
I have no idea.
What exactly is he blaming you for? I don't get it.
I know. I can't even tell you the amount of energy I put into this kid, man. I don't have no regrets. All I have is gratitude. I'm thankful. And guess what? I got an opportunity and still have an opportunity to be one of the top conditioning coaches in the boxing game. I get an opportunity to come on boxing Drew Titan when my man I can't even see that close. Stormy. Yeah. Listen, I get an opportunity to come and talk to guys that are very knowledgeable of the sport of boxing, media, boxing itself, I mean, it's just going to get bigger. And I don't know if Regis didn't understand, but the media like me. I mean, I could do some crazy, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wish that kid the best, you know, the best with your career, Regis program. I hope you continue to go on this journey. And, you know, in my neighborhood, they say when you lead a neighborhood, you go to another neighborhood, you represent them. You don't represent me. So guess what? We ain't on the same team no more. So I might be across from you.
And salute to my brother Thomas from the Bronx, because he's the one that connected us. That's my
my man. Yes.
Thomas, yes, salute to him. And I'm gonna tell you, soon, I don't know the exact date, but we're gonna have Bacoli here soon. And when I can get it definitely gonna be here, I'm gonna shout you out and I'm gonna pull you up and you could talk to him directly.
Yeah.
Because that guy, he's what I call him the smart bomb. Because he's been here the whole time and no one's really like paid attention.
Yeah.
And he's here.
Yeah.
And he's a killer. And what's interesting is his last fight against Jared Anderson, the fight he had prior to that, I want to say it was against what's his name? No. When did he fight Michael Hunter?
Michael Hunter beat him. I don't know how.
Michael Hunter beat him. But if you go look at the Michael Hunter fight, Bacoli was in better physical shape in the Michael Hunter fight than he was in the Jared Anderson fight. You can look and tell. But Bacoli has a lot of natural ability, man. It's like, I don't know if he was born to do anything else but this. And he's a big, strong man. And like I said, if you go look at the Michael Hunter fight and look at the Jared Anderson fight, he's about maybe 20 pounds heavier.
But Jared Anderson
there, Bacoli's 20 pounds heavier from the Michael Hunter fight.
Okay,
he's heavier in that fight. You know,
so that says a lot. That says something about the training.
The hand speed is there. The natural. He has accurate. He punches very accurate. Those uppercuts are devastating. And it'd be exciting to see if he gets with a strength and conditioning coach where he trims down and he's just feeling a little better. Yeah. And what I tell people all the time, your look is just a byproduct of how you take care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
and,
listen, bro. I took a kid like I don't know if you remember. You don't know if you remember Dominic Gwynn.
Yes, I do. He was on the show not too long ago.
Well, when Dom came back to boxing, I got Dom in shape.
Yeah.
Dom was 260 something pounds. I got Dom down to 231.
In how long?
About 10 weeks.
Wow.
About 10 weeks.
Wow.
And when I tell you, so when you look at a guy like Bacoli, I got to look at what you just told me. It tells me some things because you never know. A guy like that could fight better at a heavier weight. It depends on where is the endurance? What is our goal? Our goal is to be heavy. Our goal is to be able to punch long and punch long hard. Punch harder for a longer period of time. So bringing Bacoli down, there's something that you got to know about the athlete. Those are things that if I have an opportunity to train Bacoli, I will look at to those physical things and the things that he's been doing because I don't think he has a conditioning coach. So coming into a guy like that, you got to evaluate it and look at it. But I do know that I can help that kid.
When I looked at his box rec and I looked at his outings, he appears to be more comfortable around 260. But his last few fights, he's been 280 something, 290. You know, he's been too big. I believe that if he can target fighting, especially fighting top opposition, around that 260,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a couple pounds over
270, 65.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's a,
because he's a naturally strong man, but like
Mhm.
you said, you would want to keep the endurance up
Mm-hmm.
and to make sure that conditioning is there in the event that fights go into later rounds.
Right.
His size and strength alone is going to wear on people.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That he's going to give people difficulty with that, because I believe he's 6'6".
Yeah. Man, he could he got combinations too. So, bro,
yeah.
I've been itching for a heavyweight. I've been itching. Heavyweights really don't have no limit on what you could do with them physically if you do this right. Guy like Jared Anderson. Anderson still has so much upside. Like if you look at his body, he's the type of athlete that could use a nice regiment weight program for the upper body, but it has to be functional. I'm saying he can't get like Deontay Wilder did. He got too big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I've listened. God bless me with this, whatever I got, bro. I can look up this boxing, and boxing still, some of the old school stuff of boxing, it still works if you incorporate it with the right type of training. Guys want to do all fucking running on a treadmill with a mask on your mouth and all that. I don't believe in that stuff, man. I like that old school shit.
Some of that stuff, there's nothing better than training nice 80-degree day on a track and field.
Yes.
With some calisthenic equipment behind it. There's nothing better than that. It's nothing better than that, man. I mean, we can appreciate the newer stuff, like when it's super cold outside or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing better than getting on a damn track.
That treadmill will fool you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, man. A mile on the treadmill is not the same as doing a mile out in the street.
It's not. It's
different, man. It's different.
It's not.
And believe it or not, I don't like to run, but I do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On a good day, I'll give you a 7-minute and 50-second mile, but I feel like I'm gonna die after that.
That's a good pace, though. That's good.
I feel like I'm gonna die, though. I ain't even gonna hold you. But I do it because I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But normally I just throw the treadmill on 6 and I'll just jog for 3 miles. You know what I mean? But I hate running. I ain't gonna hold you. I like jumping rope. I hate running though.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I just do it. You know what I mean?
I got a little. I put some swimming into the program. I do a lot of stuff, man. Everything related to boxing. So I mean, the sky's the limit for me, man. I'm always thankful, like I said before, to be recognized by boxing media, because this is the platform. This is how my name get out there. And I appreciate you guys having me on here. And I'm available. I'll talk about boxing all day.
No doubt. Well, we definitely gonna have you back, because we're gonna have some. February is a big month. We're gonna have a lot of fights coming up, and when we have those big fights, we got the Usyk and Fury rematch coming up, and I plan on loading the panel. We're gonna absolutely load the panel. We have a lot of professionals on here. We're gonna have some strength and conditioning guys on here. I'm gonna talk. Like I told you, I know I'm good friends with Blu-ray. I'm gonna bring them up there. We're gonna have some guys from the past and the present. Oh, and let me read the super chat real quick, because I got another question for you before you get out of here. My brother TD Sports from the Bronx, my brother, he said this was a great conversation. Salute Drew, Stormy, and Coach, man. Salute to you, good brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir, man. You was telling me about a fighter that you're working with. Tell me about that kid real quick.
I am right now. I'm right now with. It's a young kid. He's a young kid out of New Jersey. He's from Trenton, a young kid named Nassim. He's only 17, 16 years old, man. National champion. Trenton is going to have a fighter. So I'm investing in the future. I talked to his dad tonight. Whatever they need physically, I'll try to get a kid a little hand. He got his own team, but we cut from the same city, same ground, same walking ground, man. And I got my hand on the youth, man, because that's the future, and that's where I want to be. So I want to give him an opportunity. Even maybe have him on your show, man, because when you give kids that encouragement, man, ain't no telling where they can go, bro. And I was that kid. I had coaches that picked me up and took me to practice. My mama couldn't do it; she had to work. So I'm that guy now. So every time I see a kid that I could push, yeah, Nassim he's gonna be a good one, man.
You always give it back, man. So I'll absolutely have him on here. And like I told you, Elijah Pierce, his friends to the show. I told you he's the brother that he went back and forth with Tank, had a sparring session.
Yeah. Where you from?
Where's Elijah? He's from Atlanta.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. I heard of him. I heard it. Yeah. I saw that. I looked on his page. Nice kid.
Yes. He so now he's making some waves.
He undefeated.
Yeah. No. He has a loss, but he's gotten into his groove, and he's what is he at 126 now? I think he's at 126. So there's a lot of work there.
Yeah.
He has this managing situation under control, and he's just now he's seeing some decent money now.
Okay.
So we're just trying to push his name, and he wants an Inui fight. I like that for him, and I want that kid to go as far as he's gonna. I want him to go as far as he can right now. So yeah, man. So yeah, tell the young man whenever y'all ready. You know what I'm saying? We could get him on.
Okay.
And,
that's funny. I talked to his dad tonight. I'm gonna send him some stuff tomorrow. But yeah, he's a good kid, man. I'm down to help anybody in the boxing game, man. That looking for top level conditioning. I'm just not a conditioning coach. I've lived as an athlete, and what I've started doing just the other day is doing my own workouts, showing people that I could still do some things. And I'm almost my man. I'm almost 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't got no age on it. So I'm gonna start posting some things that coach is doing for his own health and strength.
Right.
So because I'm trying to be around. I got 3-year-old grandson. Shout out to my grandson, the Super Roman, my daughter Betsy and her husband Tom. Man, I'm gonna spend the New Year's in New Jersey with my family, and I'm gonna go to Jersey and see my man. So maybe sometime when I'm between the 25th and the 2nd, I'll be in Jersey and I'll hit you up if you got some time.
Oh yeah. We neighbors. So I'll come up there. I'll come down there for real. Ain't nothing but I-95.
Yeah, my son-in-law lives in Hoboken.
Okay. Oh shit.
Right over the bridge.
Rough. But I love the hood. I head over there. Hell yeah.
Hey, listen, Hoboken is totally different. When I was coming up, you couldn't go to Hoboken.
Yeah.
Now it looks Jersey City look like the suburbs now.
They gentrified, man. It's like that with Brooklyn. When they told us they're building a whole arena in Brooklyn, we was like, where? Hell no. But now now you see white folk running around.
I was going to say that.
I was like, what the fuck happened over here? In 1994, it didn't look like that.
No, sir.
Gentrification is a motherfucker.
I was talking about Asian people walking around Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
At night?
I remember when I got off the highway and went through Harlem, and I first noticed it was like 3 a.m. I saw a white kid out there with his laptop. I said, what the fuck's going on here?
Bro.
What the hell? He be up the block with his ribs touching. How 3 a.m. He's on his laptop? What happened? I saw it back then. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, man.
It's changing.
Gentrification is something different, man. Y'all don't know. If y'all just went to Brooklyn for the Barclays and you never been to New York, I'm telling you, where the Barclays is, before that arena was built, you couldn't walk over there.
Yeah.
I saw a crackhead in 90-degree weather. I saw a crackhead with a big old winter hat on, shadow boxing in the street back in 94.
Oh my God.
Hot as hell. I said, man, I forgot I was even down there.
I've seen him in my neighborhood looking up at the ceiling, at the sky. 0 degrees outside, no clothes.
Man.
But it's crazy, man. I thank God that I was able to see all that and go places and travel. I went to college in Puerto Rico, so I was in a tropical island. I mean, 5-6 years of my life, man. National champion, all this stuff. But I was able to be around that, man. I was blessed, bro. I was blessed.
Hell yeah. Salute to TD Hart in that super chat. He said, just shouting out one of the best duos on YouTube, man. Salute to you, good brother.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
we can talk to you all day, all night, man. But, you know, I'm going to drop you my direct line in the DM right now, brother.
Okay,
But,
cool.
man, I'm definitely going to have you back. You know what I'm
Thank
saying? When we get Bacoli, I'm going to let you know way ahead of time. So I can put you in direct contact with the brother, man.
Thank
And I'm going to drop the link to Stormy's channel.
Okay.
DM also.
I'm down.
The brother talks the X's and O's, man. And he don't talk about what happens. He explains why it happened.
Yeah.
And,
I almost want to call you a damn psychic.
Yeah,
I was going to call you a psychic shit. Because the shit you said tonight, it's real. I can't dig down, but I'm going to tell you right now, you was right.
Drew will tell you I have that effect. It's like you know, it's a gift. I've been here before or something. It's like it's just
bro, because you hit that shit on the head.
A certain light and with purpose, man.
Yeah,
I've embraced it.
That's good. Listen, everything you said, I received it, bro. Everything you said, I received it. You know, I'm gonna move forward just like that, and you know, look forward to coming on here again, man, and talking real stuff for real men. So
yes,
I'm appreciative, bro, and I appreciate y'all for having me.
Man, anytime, bro. I'm gonna have you back, and it's called failing forward. There's not a situation that we as men should walk away from that we don't learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
And the 15 years that you was with Regis, it wasn't wasted because you learned something.
Yep.
And what you do, there's a future in it. Nobody could box forever. When he walks away, he's gonna have to reflect on his relationships. And you know, it might take a few years or whatever, but you'll get that phone call. You get that phone call, and you know, it'll be what it be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what it is, man. He has some growing to do, and let him grow based off of what you've explained, because I haven't spoken to him. But you know, but man, salute to you, good brother, man. And I'm a DM you my math right now.
Sounds good.
But,
Sounds
good. We'll definitely have you back, man. Thank you so much, man.
Blessings, man. Blessing on the things that you guys have coming up. I'm gonna claim this now for you. 2025 is gonna be a phenomenal year, individually and collectively, and as a business. So I'm gonna touch and agree with y'all on that, and then we're gonna see, and we're gonna do some great things in 2025, man. God bless y'all.
Thank you so much, brother. We'll
All
speak,
right,
brother. Same to you.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Peace.
Man, that was very eventful, man. That was very eventful, man. We ain't gonna hold y'all. We've been cooking for 2 hours and 30 minutes, man. Man, salute to y'all and salute to Evins, man. We're gonna have him back, man. That's the story, you know. I like the fact that, you know, there was no need to trash Regis. We just want to know what happened. You know, he felt slated, and that's fine. In all fairness, we haven't spoken to Regis. Regis hasn't, to my knowledge, hasn't even said, well, I sabotaged him because of blah, 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 blah. Haven't heard it, but he told his truth. So it is what it is. And, you know, new friend to the Strong House. And, yeah, that's what it is, man. So we ain't going to hold y'all. The queen should be on. We way past our time. Stormy, let them know they can find you.
And everybody can find me right here on YouTube. Stormy B Man is my channel. That's Stormy B Man in all caps with no cap.
Hell yeah, man. I'll be back tomorrow, talk some more boxing, and I appreciate y'all. Salute to everybody, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Super Chats, man. I'll be back in the AM and pep talk tomorrow night. It's cold outside. Y'all stay warm. And we'll catch y'all soon, man. Bronx on deck.
Move!
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.